Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Mistonia's Hope, continuing Ascot's route. And yeah, Ascot, we think he's a pure fae. Well, I mean, they kind of gave us that impression, and now she's thinking it, so we'll see what happens. Could be a changeling. We don't know. We don't really know what's going on with him, but he's sus as fuck. Yay! Of course he is. Come on. A few days later, I headed out to buy a few things and shared the details of the recent incident with Goneril. I never thought you'd actually try to play the part of his lover. I hope John Boy doesn't get too stressed about this. It's a bit reckless, but I won't stop you. I don't exactly hate how gutsy and full of determination you are. I'm happy to hear that. John hasn't returned, has he? No, he's not back yet. He sent me some information about the changelings here and there, though. Oh. I secretly checked the watch in my pocket, but it wasn't glowing. There was no message. It didn't seem like anything had happened to John. So, do you think my instincts are on point? You're saying he's not just a demi-fae, right? There shouldn't be any fae with that kind of power in this country other than the Queen. I know that, of course, but now that I think about it, Ascot doesn't seem to even recognize other people in his own household. The five houses highly value their power and the purity of their bloodline, so it seems pretty strange. You have a point. Goneril took my wild theory seriously. So is that like a thing that, like, they don't recognize people in their household? Or is it more like... Well, I was gonna say, like, he's a plant. You know what I mean? Like, he never actually belonged to House Lindell. You know what I mean? Type of a thing. Because, like, why, like, him not recognizing people in his house is definitely suspicious and odd. But, like, how does that point to him being, like, pure fae? You know what I mean? Like, where's that connection? I need you to make that connection for me because I'm not getting it, you know? It's still too early to say whether or not he's a demi-fae. Sometimes a demi-fae has powers closer to that of a pure fae, after all. But there are things about House Lindell that concern me as well. What do you mean? I did a quick study on House Lindell's background and history before you went up against the five houses. House Lindell is somewhat unclear when compared to the other households. Records are vague and hastily put together, so it sounds like it's a fake house. Put simply, the household's representative is always decided by recommendation. There's no parent-child connection between them. Okay, that's interesting. Recommendation? Even though they're one of the leading households? From what I'd heard, the head of the five houses weren't usually chosen by inheritance but ability. It was all about power, and their reign usually only lasted a few generations. It's unusually peaceful, isn't it? If they pick someone too weak, the household could be in real danger of falling apart. Then why, I wonder, is House Lindell so content with the current situation? That's the one thing we won't be able to understand unless I directly confront Ascot. How about we look into the rumors about him being involved in the kidnappings, just so we can find the weakness we need? Do you think you could investigate that rumor about how pretending to be a changeling makes you rich, too? Leave it to me. I'll ask the children from Eden where the rumors started. Yes, please. The more resources we have, the better. I was more wary of Ascot than ever when I left Goneril's shop. I returned to the mansion and started arranging the flowers I'd picked up. Oh my, you are back, Space. Could you bring some fresh tea and sweets to my room if you're free? Yeah, see, we're spending an awful lot of time with Lily in this route. That's all I'm saying. She has shown up more, I think, in Ascot's route than she did all of Edward's route, so... Yeah. Certainly. I shall bring them to you right away. Here we go again. She's going to pull me into a conversation while she has tea. I had made Lily tea so often that I had gotten pretty good at predicting what she would do next. I heard you went out with Lord Ascot. I was really worried. Honestly, I was wondering how things went, too. Lily sipped her tea, wasting no time at all in getting straight to the point. I truly appreciate the concern. However, Lord Ascot was kind to me. Really? The truth is, I started to worry that going on a date with him may not have been the best decision after I'd happily sent you off. I see. May I ask why you felt that way? I've heard that Lord Ascot doesn't maintain relationships with women just for fun. I've heard that Lord Ascot doesn't maintain relationships with women just for fun. Does she mean like he doesn't maintain them just for fun? Like, because I would assume that you would have been like, oh, he just has relationships with women for fun. Wink, wink. You know what I mean? Like, but it sounds like it's not just for that. It's for something nefarious. Are you going to continue that statement? Could you elaborate? Yeah, could you? Apparently, it's actually part of his strategy for gathering information for Lady Tia. Women are surprisingly good sources of information, which is really weird, though, that Lily is warning us against Ascot because he might be sussing out information for the Queen when she's, like, the Queen's bitch, basically. So, like, isn't it really odd? Anybody else being like, oh, he's just using people to get information. Okay, but like coming from Lily, it's very odd. You know? Because she's like besties with the Queen, so why would she give a fuck? Huh. Gathering information for the Queen. If that's true, did he approach me because he saw me as a threat? Does he want to get rid of me? Well, I mean, I feel, again, I can understand why she would think that, but I'm not too worried about it just because he gave us a knife in Linus's route. Now, if he had never done that, then yeah, I'd be like, we gotta worry about him and like, but I'm not really concerned because of that, you know? But if that were true, I didn't understand why he hadn't reported me right away. Well, it's Lord Ascot after all. He's likely doing it for his own pleasure, too. We can't really expect him to genuinely love someone, given all the rumors about him. Even if you try to take him seriously, you'll still only end up getting hurt. I do not possess any information that Lord Ascot would want, however. I mean, that's not true, but he might be trying to use you to get information about House Bernstein. I really was waiting for it to be. He's using you to get information about me. Girl, fucking get off your fucking self, okay? Really thought that's what she was going to say. For the House Bernstein. Yeah, okay, valid. That makes sense. He flirted with me persistently in the past. It was such an unpleasant experience. Are you jealous that he's not flirting with you anymore? Really? Because it sounds like you are. I told him I already had someone in mind, but don't you dare fucking try to marry Alfred again. I will take a bitch down. Don't touch my fucking show pony. My lady, she was certainly referring to her husband who had died in that tragic incident, which again, I hope we find out more about that tragic incident because it's sus as fuck. Flirting with her? He really does have no boundaries. Or maybe he's after something. Maybe he's sus as fuck about her. I'm over it. It's all in the past. But if he hurts you, I don't think I'd ever be able to forgive him. People are meant to experience love and romance freely, but really, Space, just make sure you don't fall too deeply for him. Too late! Too late! The second this game was ever released, even before it was localized, they had me at Jun Fukuyama, and I was like, sold. I was already like, best fucking character ever. I don't care. He could literally, well, I mean, tie me up, tie me down, do whatever you want to me. But I mean, he could literally stab me. He could literally gut me, and I'd be like, please, sir, may I have another? Like, he could do anything he wants to. I'm not going to complain. Like, whatever. Gone. Like, all you had to do to make it even worse was put glasses on him, and then, like, well, I would have just dropped dead at that point. Because, like, come on. And then they localized the game, and it was like, well, fuck, I didn't think I could fall hard. So, like, don't fall too deeply. Too late! You should have warned me about this before we started the game, Lily. You should have rolled up the first thing and been like, just FYI, this one right here, don't fall too deep. But it would have been too late at that point either. I mean, it was always too late. It was always too late for this warning. Too late! Thank you, my lady. I shall keep your advice in mind. After I thanked her, I brewed some more tea as it had gone cold. And then Nicholas is around a lot more in this one than he was. Like, what's going on? I mean, he's supposed to be in charge and, like, whatever in our job, but, like, Space, his lordship and I will be out on business tonight. You're in charge while we're gone. Philip and the rest have already been informed. Please check in with them. I'm in charge! Understood. I'll take full responsibility for the house during your absence. Why me? I don't want to be in charge. I just want to sit in the corner making no noise and pretending I don't exist. Man! When I returned to the study, I found Nicholas quickly packing his things, although, to be fair, of the surface, Philip is too... No, you should not leave him in charge of fucking anything. I'm not even sure he should be in charge of his goddamn self. Lady Lily, I trust him to be in charge of her, because he would fucking do anything for her, so fine. But, like, and Charlotte, I don't think could tell anyone what to do, because she's too sweet. And Evelyn is, as much as, like, I feel like she has seniority here, obviously she does, not I feel like, she definitely does. I don't know if I feel like she could boss people around and they should listen. But out of the three of us, I do think our character is very serious and people would be more likely to listen to her over Evelyn. Even though Evelyn has been here longer. You know? You know what I mean? Because Evelyn, they'd probably be like, oh, Evelyn's nice. We can get away with stuff with her. And with me, they'd be like, that girl, she has resting bitch face. And her resting bitch face has resting bitch face. So I don't think we're just going to do what she tells us. You know? She might try to make us cookies if we try to do it and we don't want to die. So fair enough, you know? Anyway. When I returned to the study, I found Nicholas quickly packing his things. Then in a gentle, delicate manner, my pocket watch seemed to warm briefly and I couldn't help but glance at it. Luckily, Nicholas was too busy packing to notice. I guess it's a sign to meet up. Edmund and Nicholas would be away tonight. Edward had said he was going to bed early in order to prepare for work in the morning. This is a good opportunity to slip out. I want to share what I learned with John face to face. I wanted to know what he thought of Ascot's behavior, since he was a man, too. I don't know if I want to know what John's going to tell us. Long time no see, John. Did anything dangerous happen when you were looking into the changelings? Yeah. Oh, that's true. Didn't Ascot threaten John? John didn't seem quite himself for some reason. He would have responded with something like there was nothing to worry about if he were being his usual self. Something felt off, but I decided to focus on sharing my information first. Did Goneril tell you that I'm with Ascot now? Yeah, but if that's the path you've chosen, I won't stand in your way. Also, he was threatened by Ascot. In this very alley, that's why I remembered it. I can't remember exactly how he threatened him, but... John's attitude had drastically changed from before he'd started his investigation. I was taken aback, having expected a scolding. Did Ascot do something to you? That's unexpected. I didn't think you'd accept it. Are you just annoyed, maybe? I'm glad you trust me. Are you just annoyed? Or, well, I feel like, for John, I'm glad you trust me, but I'm going to be like, are you annoyed? Like, are you okay? That's the closest we have to, are you the fuck okay? Save file. Ooh, already. Oh, interesting. Boop. Okay. Are you just annoyed? You're not annoyed at my plan, are you? My worry outweighed my happiness. John had been strongly against it at first. I wouldn't be surprised if he'd gotten fed up with me for pushing it like that. Oh, not at all. You've become quite clever, milady. I'm sure you'll be able to hold your own against Ascot. I appreciate it, but John's response still lacked energy when compared to his words. If something's bothering you, John, just say so. The plan can't be undone, but I have no intention of forcing you to comply.
I know. Sorry for worrying you. I've been so wrapped up in the investigation that I guess fatigue just caught up with me. Now the changelings in House Lindell. It seems like the rumors about changelings being gathered at the Lindell estate's true.
So were they kidnapped, or are they being protected?
Here's the thing. Most of the changelings brought to the estate are being looked after by House Lindell. Seems this led to rumors about them disappearing. I've also obtained some information from Goneril after he asked her to investigate, and more from the children in Eden. It looks like there's no truth to the rumors of kidnappings or changelings being mistreated.
What John said confused me. Okay, right, because he had that run-in with Ascot. So then all of a sudden, him coming back and being, I thought he was going to be like, yeah, there's no changelings there. And I was going to be like, that's sus as fuck. And he's like, yeah, they're there, but like everything is awesome. And you're like, uh-huh. And she's like, something's not right here. Yeah, you know? Did he glamorize you? Did he use his mind powers on you? Did he kiss you? Because I get it. I'd go stupid if he did that to me too. You know what I mean? You know what? You just looked at the man and now you've gone dumb. Yeah, I get it. I get it, John. I get it. But like, you gotta slap him and bring John back to his senses. But really, but then when he said like all the changelings are being taken care of in House Lindell, and it's like, is that what? Okay, because remember Goneril was like, oh yeah, their shit's all hastily slapped together, right? Then I'm like, so if they're taking in the changelings, are they just like incorporating the changelings into their house? And the whole house is made up of changelings? Like, so they're not really being kidnapped or mistreated. They're being brought into the house. And that's why it's not like passed down from parent to child or whatever, you know? Like, although to be fair, it did sound, and like, I don't remember them saying this because like we've always seen Edmund and Edward, but I don't remember them saying it with any of the other houses or saying it before, but Goneril made it seem like, oh, well, Edward just happens to be the strongest. That's why he's next in line, not because he's Edmund's son, because if he wasn't strong and somebody else was stronger than him, they would take over. And you're like, that seems very weird. So, like, Linus's parents might not have been the previous ones in charge of House Ward. You know what I mean? And you're like, but you all have the same last name. So, like, your cousin, like, eventually, like, names change. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, like, so that's weird. I don't know. Anyway. So does that mean you're saying they're protecting changeling children who are being mistreated? Like, charity work, right? She's like, that doesn't sound like Ascot.
On the surface, yes. But we don't know what's going on inside the estate, so I can't say for sure.
What's going on here? Why is this being treated as a missing persons case? Why is this being treated as missing persons cases? Sorry. If House Lindell's taking care of people with nowhere to go, there's really no reason to hide it.
Indeed. Honestly, making it public would probably improve their reputation among the people. But the fact that they're not doing so indicates some underlying intentions.
Could it be that the household member who met Ascot the other day was actually a changeling he was protecting? If that's the case, it explains why Ascot forgot his name. It's not surprising that he can't keep track of everyone with the growing number of changelings at the estate. Looks like I should investigate House Lindell's motives as well. If it's really a charity effort, that doesn't count as a weakness. I'll have to come up with another plan.
Yeah, I'll keep looking into it too. I get what's going on with you and Ascot, but don't push yourself too hard, milady.
I'll keep that in mind. The same goes for you too, John. It would be obvious I wasn't at the estate if I stayed out too long. I returned to the mansion in a hurry, silently wishing for John's safety as well as my own. 2 weeks went by, but no new updates came from John or Goneril. I'd been trying to dig up information related to House Lindell and the Queen, too, but Edmund and Edward were often absent, busy with the exhibition preparations, making it difficult to gather new information. I suppose there was only one way to obtain valuable information.
glad you came, Space. I would have thought you'd write such a passionate poem just for me.
I had to get closer to him. Well, it is for my beloved. Ascot smiled softly as if amused, the letter held between his fingers. I'd penned a poem in response to his invitation, one meant for a lover. However, only he could say if it was good or not. I kind of scrapped it together, scraped it together using romance novels as reference. I thought she was going to say she copied it out of a book. There was a romantic poem in one of the novels, so she copied it out. You know, that'd be funny as hell. Oh well, Ascot must have noticed by Ascot must have noticed that by now. That smile, perhaps he found it possible that I'd do something like this. Ascot's gaze drifted to a building beyond the park as the Why every once in a while do I just get tongue-tied to the point where I can't read lately? Like, what is wrong with me? Ascot's gaze drifted to a building beyond the park as these thoughts lingered in my mind.
This park offers quite a clear view of the exhibition venue that's taking shape, doesn't it? I'm sure you're excited too. How about we take a stroll and talk about the exhibition?
With pleasure. I linked arms with Ascot without a second thought. I was used to it at this point.
Oh, you're becoming quite proactive. It seems like you're starting to match my style. I kind of like it.
If you're not careful, you might find yourself matching my style instead.
I would certainly love that.
We made our way through the park with my pace setting our rhythm as we exchanged lighthearted banter. Sure enough, I had a clear view of facilities being built for the upcoming exhibition. How should I bring up the changelings and what I heard from Lily? He would probably be on guard against anyone investigating the case since he was keeping things under wraps. Even if I tried asking subtly, I didn't expect him to reveal anything.
Your gaze could almost bore a hole straight through me. What's on your mind, Space? Hear a strange rumor about me.
It seemed Ascot had noticed I was lost in thought. He really is tough to deal with. He'd brought it up himself, though, which I was grateful for. Actually, I heard a new one. Or so I thought.
I knew it, but, what could it be? Honestly, there are so many possibilities that I'm not sure. Is it about that thing? Or maybe the dinner with that lady? No, it might be about last week, or it could be when the husband of that woman I thought was single showed up at the estate.
She's over there like, let's talk about all of those. I blinked in surprise at the unexpected answer. What I want to ask you isn't about your romantic entanglements, though. I felt somehow let down. Knowing Ascot, I figured he'd already seen right through everything I wanted to ask him. His completely off-base guesses were so amusing that I couldn't help but laugh.
I don't quite understand what made you laugh, but your smile is rather charming, Space. I'd love it if you could show me that smile of yours more often.
Then she goes back to... She's like, he's like, your smile is charming. And she's like, glare face. The face in her fucking little sprite's so funny right now. She's like, the audacity of you to even fucking say that. I don't smile. Hearing Ascot's comment made me realize I'd been smiling without thinking. I immediately fixed my expression. Don't tease me. I averted my gaze, looking elsewhere. Father!
Huh?
A small boy ran over and hugged Ascot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What?
Father, please bring me back to the estate.
And Ascot's like, I swear to God, I don't have kids. Well, that you know about, you whore. What the fuck? You know, he's a changeling child or whatever. Like, I doubt Ascot actually has kids. That would kind of ruin it. Don't ruin it, game. So, you know it's gonna be like a changeling kid and they're calling him like dad or whatever. And he's like, oh dear God. I gave Ascot a cold look when I saw the boy clinging to his knee. Then I spoke. I think we should acknowledge him for now.
You don't even question if he's my kid or not. It's like you have no trust in me. Or could it be that you actually trust me that much?
Ascot sighed and looked down at the boy, his gaze cold.
I'm afraid I don't know you. You've probably heard the rumors and are trying to and are trying to get close to me, but
He squatted down and peered at the boy.
you're not a changeling, are you?
The boy trembled at Ascot's words and fled the scene.
Ugh, we had such a good vibe going, and now it's all ruined.
Ascot straightened up and stretched, making no attempt to mask his annoyed tone. That's very interesting, though. Okay, because I was assuming it was probably a changeling child who was like, you know, Ascot's taken them in. They're like, he's like our dad. And it's like, because you're a orphan child. So, okay, sure. He's adopting sassy lost changeling children. But, like, so this is a very weird chalk it up in one more weird motherfucking shit going on in Ascot's route. Ascot, did you just ask that child if he was a changeling?
Well, he looked like he didn't have anyone, so I was thinking that I'd take him to House Lindell for safety if he were a changeling.
I see. Before I could even inquire about it, it had become clear that House Lindell was indeed protecting the changelings. I should probably ask about it since Ascot mentioned it himself, and that whole thing with the child just happened. I'd be like, so what's the deal with that? Does this happen often? Does House Lindell really provide protection for changelings?
Yes, that's correct. I get it now. That was the rumor you heard, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. But shouldn't you make it public if that's the case? That way you could avoid raising suspicion of foul play. There are whispers of people going missing. I thought the question was pretty direct and cut to the chase.
The matter shouldn't be spread around.
Ascot said this like it was just a casual conversation, remaining unperturbed. I suppose going around bragging about your good deeds isn't really your style. Because we're not really sure. I mean, him helping the changelings is one thing, but other than that, have we ever really thought that Ascot is somebody going around doing good deeds? Like, didn't that just make you feel weird? Like, well, I suppose going around bragging about your good deeds isn't really your style, and you're like, because you don't really have good deeds to brag about. Therefore, it can't be your style if you don't have any, you know? So, like, wait, you're doing something nice for people? Huh. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Ascot, but is it the first thing you were thinking? Like, he's helping people. Oh, you were like, wait, what? Are you sure? Why does that seem suspicious? I mean, yeah. I mean, we really don't know what's going on. He could be actually like a marshmallow on the inside. We don't know, but.
You're getting pretty honest, huh? People will throw more work my way if I'm known for serious stuff like that. It'd be a hassle.
I mean, that sounds a little more like Ascot.
You know, stuff like protecting children from Eden or doing charity work. Al and Ed would be all too eager to dump those tasks on me.
Classic Ascot, always so lazy when it comes to work. But it didn't feel like there was any hidden meaning behind those words. There's more going on about protecting the changelings, but perhaps Ascot himself isn't particularly interested in children. I can't figure out what he's really after now. I should probably keep watching a bit longer. I dropped the matter, having made my decision. My relationship with Ascot had lasted for a surprisingly long time. Whenever he had a moment, whether after a meeting or on an ordinary day, he came to see me, sometimes even with a little present. Edward was pretty cautious at first, but he started to warm up little by little with how often Ascot kept showing up. I was certain I'd be abandoned quickly. I planned on gathering intel as fast as I could, but, well, things took an unexpected turn for the better. Or maybe I'm just getting better at playing the role of a perfect lover. Then again, I couldn't say for sure if that was truly the case. I kept telling myself that I couldn't afford to lower my guard just yet as I cleaned the hallway. Then,
Space, could you run an errand for me once you're done cleaning? Edward's given me the go-ahead.
Certainly. What may I assist you with? I gave a quick bow and Lucas called out to me, then asked what he needed.
I need you to buy some paint and a canvas.
Paint and a canvas? This didn't appear to be for work. Maybe it was his hobby. That was a surprise, though. Again, but see, because it's actually really hard to see the paint on his fingertips, but it's there. You're a painter, Lord Lucas?
Well, more or less. It's not the kind of hobby I tell people about. I'm mentally drained. I want to let off some steam with a paintbrush, but with all the work piling up, I can't even return to my estate. I could have my butler go and buy it all, but that's a waste of time.
Very well. Might I ask if there's any specific paints you'd like?
I've written a list. Just show it to the shop staff and it'll be fine.
I'll do that then. I took the note, folded it neatly, and tucked it into my pocket. I'll go ahead and buy that for you. But are you feeling all right, Lord Lucas? I've been concerned since you called out to me. Your complexion doesn't seem quite right.
It's nothing new. Don't waste your time worrying about it.
Well, Lucas does always look kind of sickly, but ending the conversation so he could return to his room would perhaps be best for his health. Aw. My apologies. If there's anything you require, please kindly inform the other servants.
Yeah, I get it. Just hurry up and...
Oh my, Lulu. What's this? You're talking to her so casually. When did you two become so friendly?
Ascot.
Ascot showed up out of nowhere and purposefully jumped between us. Oh, he's staking his claims. Kind of hot. We were at the meeting earlier. So, what were you two talking about?
It's not anything like what you're imagining.
Oh, and what do you think I'm imagining? He looks serious. Look, Ascot looks slightly perturbed. He's got a, slightly miffed little face, like, how dare you? Ascot put an arm around my shoulders, not hiding his displeasure. In that case, would you share what it is with your dear lover's space? Those mysterious eyes locked onto me. I swiftly looked away before I ended up getting lost in them. Oh no, that probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. You could just be like, Lucas asked me to run an errand for him. I'm gonna go pick up some stuff at the store. Ascot's voice was suddenly low, and he cradled my face in his hands. I didn't expect you to do something I... Oh. No. I didn't expect you to do something I would, given how serious you are. I am your lover, without a doubt. You'd better not forget that. After all, a naughty child who breaks promises might get haunted by nightmares. Are you going to haunt my nightmares? You're threatening me. You know, he's a little... Are you going to put me in a cage? You know, I kind of figured Edward was going to be the cage one. We never got put in a cage. Well, he did lock us in a room. But, I mean, he just told us to stay there, and we willingly stayed there. You know, and it was for our safety and everything. But, that's the closest we got, because he seemed a little, possessive. But you, okay. All right. Sure. Scary. Why did he say something like that? I found myself unable to speak, overwhelmed by the surprise and intimidation. We're going to have nightmares now.
What a possessive guy.
Lucas sighed, watching us in disbelief, clearly unimpressed. Lucas could just say, I asked her to run me an errand. Jesus, she's a servant. His voice brought me back to my senses. I quickly pulled away from Ascot, who didn't try to stop me. I deeply apologize you had to see something so unpleasant, Lord Lucas. However, what exactly did you mean by possessive?
You don't need to apologize. It's practically all his fault. You're really slow, though, aren't you? He probably doesn't like you talking to other men. It's jealousy, plain and simple.
Jealousy? That couldn't be. That was probably the last word someone would associate with Ascot. Oh, come on! Who would like having their beloved snatched away from them? Ascot's normal mood returned, and he clapped his hands with a smile.
Anyone who tries something with you is either stupid or reckless.
Aren't those pretty much the same? I wonder what you even think of me, Lulu. Ugh. Ascot shrugged. Lucas held his head in his hands. My headache's just gonna get worse if I keep talking to you. I'm heading back to the meeting. Make sure you get the good space. Yes, and please leave it to me. Lucas shot Ascot an unreadable look before heading back. It took me quite a while to answer, which was only natural considering all the unexpected events. I also like how, notice though, the douchebaggery over here. I love you, Ascot, but we've got to like insult you for a hot minute. We're going to take a step back and be like, what a dick. So Lucas is talking to us. He's like, who the fuck's talking to my girl? And you threatened me. You threatened me. Rude. Men. Asshole. Like, I'm sorry. Like, why is it all of a sudden my fault? You just assume? That's some patriarchal bullshit right there. Fucking douche. Rude. You should have threatened. I mean, obviously they're gonna threaten us because it's kind of sexy or whatever. You're like, you're threatening me. Stop it. But at the same time, it's like, so like if one of the other guys was hitting on me, Ascot's gonna threaten me with nightmares? Rude. That's rude. You should have faith in me and be like, and threaten them. But actually don't threaten them because it's kind of sexy when you threaten me a little bit. Because we're kind of into that, so. But still. I still love you, but that was a dick move, buddy.
Then again, every time we talk, Lulu always looks like he's sniffing a dead body.
That's a unique comparison. That's a way to phrase that. I'd forgotten for a second. We were at my workplace, the mansion. I had to treat him like a guest.
I can't think of any other way to explain it. Hey, I don't actually smell, do I?
Well, that's interesting. Because Lucas can talk to the dead. Ascot, are you really dead? But, like, why would anybody else be able to see you? Huh. Nothing smells rotten as far as my nose is concerned. Could it be that he simply doesn't like you?
You sure don't hold back, huh? Well, I'm glad I don't stink. I wouldn't want you secretly hating me or anything.
Ascot's feelings aside, it looks like Lucas has difficulty dealing with him. I mean, their personalities totally clash, so it isn't surprising. Lucas kind of has difficulty dealing with almost everyone except for Alfred. And, like, I guess Edward, but that's only because Edward is a labradoodle, so it's kind of, like, easy to deal with, like, the labradoodles. You know what I mean? Because, like, Edward's never had any reason to be possessive with Lucas. You know what I mean? He got a little possessive in Linus's route and everything, and he got a little like, don't you hurt her and I'll take her back from you. She's my servant. And it was like, sir, simmer down. He got a little feisty, and we were concerned that he was going to be possessive. Then that's Ascot, apparently. But, like, he's never been like that with Lucas, so. But I think he's also, like, too golden retriever, so Lucas is like, oh, God, this. So fair enough. Lucas really can't deal with anybody. We saw that in his route. He couldn't even deal with any of the other servants. We suffered through him, and that's why we fell in love. However, I can't help but be concerned by what Lucas said earlier. Anyone who tries something with you is either stupid or reckless. It was obvious that Ascot didn't have a shred of martial arts skills. He was the textbook definition of a refined gentleman. There was no way he could hurt anyone, not counting the influence of the 5 houses. But after the horse incident and that thing with the knife-wielding woman, there's definitely something unsettling about him. I suppose he's not a simple demi-fae. Perhaps I should try reaching out to Lucas. Perhaps I should try reaching out to Lucas if he knows anything about Ascot. Oddly phrased. It's more like reaching out to see if he knows. Well, anyway. As I was lost in thought,
I'm thinking of another guy in front of me, Space. I must say, I'm not impressed.
Ascot poked my cheek and pouted. This is a misunderstanding. I was simply going over what to buy, that's all. I'll never give my heart to anyone but you, Lord Ascot.
Is that so? Well, as long as you understand.
Except for maybe Alfred. And maybe John. A little bit of Edward. A little bit of Lucas, I guess. Everyone but Linus. No offense to Linus. He's just too baby-faced for me. He's adorable. But, you know.
All right. I'm not needed in today's meeting, so I'll tag along on your errand.
Huh? Is it even possible for someone from the Five Houses to not be needed in a meeting?
You'll need someone to carry your things, right? My arms might be skinny, but you can use me as long as you don't overload me.
Phrasing! You know that you said that, and it's so. And I can't think anything appropriate. Even though it's only half inappropriate. I'm like 382% inappropriate now. Damn it! No, I can't possibly have you carrying my things.
It's fine. I'd be delighted if you considered this a continuation of that date we had to cut short. I promise I'll make it up to you. Would you understand if I told you I just wanted to spend time with you? All right. I'll go get Nicholas's permission. You get ready and wait for me, okay?
Lord Ascot. Before I could say anything, Ascot went off to find Nicholas. He's so persistent. Nicholas would never turn down Ascot's request, so going with him was pretty much a done deal. My apologies, Lord Ascot. In the end, you had to carry my stuff.
It should be Ascot, right?
No, it should just be Ascot, sorry. You're right. Thanks, Ascot. I picked up the art supplies and headed back to the Bernstein mansion. Ascot didn't suggest stopping for any detours, maybe because I was doing an errand for work. Instead, he asked me to let my hair down as though we were going on a romantic outing.
I feel like people ask way too much from you just because you can do anything. You should ask others for help when things get too much for you. And that's what I'm doing right now.
Didn't you just force yourself along?
You're not wrong.
Ascot held the canvas under his left arm. His right hand held my free hand. I know this is how couples are supposed to be, but I still don't get what's so fun about it. And honestly, I still get a little nervous. Naturally, I was just worried Ascot might eat me all up.
Lord Ascot!
This must have been what they called déjà vu. A boy came toward us. I was still on edge.
It's really you, Lord Ascot! I just wanted to thank the head of House Lindell properly just once.
The boy thanked him earnestly, but Ascot responded with disinterest. By any chance is this kid, I'm assuming a changeling because it says changeling boy as his name, so. Seeing an opportunity to gain new intel, I walked up to the boy and met his gaze. Are you a changeling who was taken in and protected by House Lindell?
Yes, I was abandoned by my parents and had nearly starved to death by the time House Lindell rescued me. I worked as an apprentice servant after they took me in at the estate. They had no problem caring for me.
You truly admire House Lindell, don't you?
I do. Lord Ascot and the others are my saviors. They gave us a home when us changelings had nowhere to go.
I see. Well, that's great if you're happy and settled now. Despite the boy's gratitude, Ascot's response was as curt as ever.
I'm still getting used to this body, but my goal is to repay House Lindell for everything you've done for me. I'm not sure if I could ever become a great fae like you, Lord Ascot, but...
Uh-huh. That's an impressive goal. Please give it your... Wait a minute. I can't believe she just caught on to that. I thought she heard that and went, I'm just going to file that away for later. Nope, she's in the middle of wait. What did this child just say? A great fae? You knew that he wasn't, like, you knew that he wasn't just a plain-ass demi-fae. You knew there was something up with that. So again, changeling? Or, because, like, this changeling child's like, I could be a great fae like you. So then obviously changelings probably still have their fae abilities. So he could have been a changeling, or he's straight up just a fae. Like, here. People commonly use the word fae as a general term, often leaving out the demi part. This child was a changeling. His spirit came from Tirnanog, making him a pure fae. What did that make Ascot then? Probably a pure fae. He was so respected by this pure fae. Now he's smirking at me. Ascot smiled when I looked at him as if he knew I'd caught on.
I should be going now.
The boy bid us farewell and returned to the crowd, likely continuing errands of his own. The only ones who remained were me, burdened with the truth, and Ascot.
All right.
I flinched before I could stop myself, but Ascot's gentle voice calmed me.
Shall we head back too? But first, how about a little secret tea party, just the two of us? You have things you want to ask me, don't you?
It wasn't a question so much as a statement. I held my breath and nodded quietly. Ascot invited me to House Lindell's townhouse in Rowan. A faint sense of danger stirred within me, but running away... Why? There's a robe on the bed. We've seen this background before, but has there always been a robe on the bed? Anyway. But running away wouldn't get me anywhere, so I entered his private room. Oh. Ascot guided me to a couch, and I took a seat. A moment later...
And now then, I trust that comment earlier was enough for you to see the truth.
There was no use denying it. I nodded and fixed my gaze on Ascot before speaking. Ascot, you're a pure fae, aren't you? Which we kind of already figured in the last part and then thought she figured out by the end of the last part. And not just any pure fae. You wield considerable power. Ascot clapped his hands lightly.
Correct.
Instead of being taken aback by my probing, Ascot laughed as if he were enjoying himself.
I'm glad you've arrived at the correct conclusion. You were so cautious that I thought I'd be waiting over 100 years.
Ascot shrugged, clearly mocking me. I pressed on, a little annoyed. A pure fae with no humane blood. So, the representative of House Lindell is...
You guessed it. I am House Lindell's very founder, the whimsical and wicked fae horse Puka.
Fae house. Did I say horse? It's house, right? Yes. No, it is horse. It is. Okay, never mind.
I'm also another of the Fae King's contractors.
Wait, Oberon's in a contract with you too? The moment he introduced himself anew, an overwhelming pressure seemed to fill the room.
And that's why there's never been a change in leadership. I've always remained the true head. People who call themselves members of House Lindell aren't exactly blood relatives. They're all changelings.
Which is what I said before. Didn't I say it? Did I say it out loud? That, they're all just... Okay, I did not... I mean, I guess I should have assumed if he's pure fae, then he's been here for forevers, because they don't die, but... Well, not unless you stab him, I guess. But, that House Lindell is changelings, and... Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah. So, all right. Not unexpected. I mean, not expected from the beginning, but expected from earlier in this route. Or this part, at least. That explains why you can't keep track of their names and faces.
Indeed. I have someone from the household collect them for me. I only provide them with a place to stay and work to do. Frankly, I hardly know who's actually in the household at this point.
Isn't that a bit too careless? There might be changeling who snuck in here to cause you harm.
Pure fae with no knowledge of the mortal world are pure in both good and bad ways. They don't often forget a kindness. Besides, if someone thinks they can outsmart me, I want to face them head on.
I had to admit that pure fae might be powerless against Ascot's unfathomable nature, so it's gonna be kind of curious because Oberon didn't... Well, okay, there were several times when Oberon was about to talk about Ascot and was like, anyway! And we're like, what the fuck were you hiding? What do you know about Ascot? Well, now we know what you know about Ascot. Okay. But why would a pure fae like you go so far as to masquerade as a demi-fae? House Lindell wasn't even part of the 5 houses when the nation was established, was it? The 5 houses had consisted of Bernstein, Cresswell, Ward, Sullivan, and my family, Randolph, up until 15 years ago at least. Bernstein took the lead after Randolph disappeared, and Lindell was promoted to the 5 houses to fill the missing seat. So, as you had no heirs, you weren't made one of the 5 houses. Why did you stay in this world without leaving behind descendants and continuing on as the household's head? A crease formed between his brows. The severity of that expression was a clear reflection of displeasure, and the reason for that was
Her Majesty just won't let my little affair slide, you see.
affair? Pain suddenly shot through my chest when I thought about what that word really meant. What, what did he say? So, are you saying that you and the Queen are...
Please don't. It's not funny even if you're just guessing. You're freaking me out.
Ascot rubbed his arm for a second, then sighed.
I've already told you, the Queen and I, my true self, I mean, are bound by fate. Fey horses are born with an absurd rule. You must obey the Fey Queen. Don't even think about defying her.
Which is kind of like the House Ward, too.
They're not allowed to create a place for themselves or return to Tirnanog.
A rule? It was probably deeply unsettling for him. His face twisted in disdain. However, he managed to regain his poise before long, so it's interesting. Oh, he looks mad. Look at his little pissed off face. So it's interesting because he is also controlled by this always have to obey the Fey Queen. Well, the Fey Queen. Whereas with House Ward, it's must obey a Fey woman. So, like, he was kind of like fighting his... The Queen is more powerful, but he was kind of fighting against himself because, like, he wanted to obey us, kind of. So we could have that power over him. It's just, it's slightly different, but Linus was ready to throw down for the Queen because that's his job. It's in his role. He's, you know. And Ascot's like, I fucking hate this and I want this bitch to die. So interesting that they both have a very similar kind of we have to obey her thing. And Linus is like, yep, gonna do it. Even if I don't want to because I love you, but I kind of have to. And Ascot is like, take this knife and kill her so I don't have... Okay. You know what I mean? And is that why he always disappears when she does? Like, it's one of those because she's no longer... Because but he said that they can never return to Tirnanog, so they're just stuck here. So, like, if she disappears, it's not like he's going back to Tirnanog. It's like he's like, fuck off, I can be free and do whatever I want. So, of course, he's not, yeah, I'm going to stay here and be one of the 5 houses. He's like, fucking A, I'm free! And he's like fucking running off to Mexico or where the fuck ever. You know what I mean? And that's why he's always disappearing and nobody ever knows what happens to him after the fact? Huh.
That's why I have high hopes for you, my dear Spacey.
Hearing my name so suddenly in such a serious tone made my heart skip a beat. What's the affair, though? Explain that. Ascot looked at me with those intense eyes and spoke as if he were testing me.
Should you kill her or send her to Tirnanog, I'd finally be free, no longer bound to serve the Queen.
Yeah, okay, there you go. That's the answer to that, so... What he said made sense. That explained why he had come to me, someone who opposed the Queen. If the Queen returns to Tirnanog, wouldn't you be forced to go with her because of that rule?
That won't be a problem. The Queen won't have the power to force me to go to Tirnanog anymore.
I see. The effects of her aging are showing up in those sorts of ways. In that case, doesn't that mean we're on the same side, aiming for the same thing?
We sure are. And that's why.
But don't think everything will go your way. I deliberately interrupted Ascot mid-sentence. The Queen's madness and obsession might exceed even your own calculations.
Yes, you're absolutely right. However, if this goes on, I'll be trapped under the Queen's rule forever, aging and wasting away just like she will. Trapped in a fate I never chose for myself, growing old and dying pathetically. There's no way I'm letting that happen.
The light in Ascot's eyes changed and were now filled with hatred and disdain for the Queen. So few were on my side. If Ascot fought for the same goal, I should gladly stand with him. So you're telling me to cooperate with you? Nonetheless, wow. I can't guarantee that I'll act according to your will. You probably just care about the Queen getting back to Tirnanog. But for me, it's all about getting my revenge on her. It seems like you'll accept a compromise as a solution in the end, so I can't ally myself with you so easily. They're quite bold. But as it stands, your knife will never reach her. Tch! I didn't need him to tell me that. I knew it better than anyone else. Ascot stood, walked over to me, and lightly touched my flushed cheek, a clear sign of his frustration. We're in the same boat. Once we've reached Her Majesty, we'll both be free. Feel free to use me as a tool to get there. Use me as a tool to get there to the you can't phrasing! So what will you do, Spacey? From here on, it's entirely up to you. Let's bring the trial period of our relationship to an end. Like Ascot said, I have no idea how long it'll take me to get anywhere near the Queen the way things are now. Even if I were to get closer to her, I still don't know how I'd end her life. But that chance would skyrocket if a pure fae like Puka, the Queen's attendant, decided to help. If Oberon had indeed recognized his ability and made him an ally, then he should be more than capable as an asset. In that case, I wouldn't hesitate anymore. I took a deep breath, then I grabbed Ascot's arm and pressed my lips to the corner of his mouth without hesitation. Oh! You just kissed... that was like a half kiss! It wasn't a real full kiss, but still, damn. Ascot's breath tickled my lips. I pulled away slightly, not paying it any mind. That's my answer. He's like, is that a yes then? Because I want to use you, Ascot. I do too! Hello! Yeah, that's the best line. I imitated Ascot, offering a seductive smile. I shouldn't be selective with my methods. I would sacrifice my purity, everything for this man, this useful tool. I love how they phrase things in this route. Holy shit. In that split second, Ascot's perfectly chiseled face broke into a smile. You really are interesting. If his hands were free, he would have been clutching his stomach, laughing so hard it hurt. Ah, satisfying. What a flawless answer. I'm truly fortunate to have discovered a source of fiery vengeance like you. I'm honored. I tried to step back quietly, relieved that Ascot was satisfied. However, he grabbed my arm. As a little celebration of our relationship, let me teach you what a true kiss between lovers is like. A real kiss. Oh! Already? Already? I'm not complaining. She is shocked as fuck, but look, he doesn't look sadistic and evil. It's lovely. Oh! I can't believe we're getting a kiss, CG, so early. Hello? It's like this game knows me. This game, It's like, we're gonna say all sorts of shit that you're gonna take out of context, and then we're gonna make this man kiss you in chapter 2. Jesus. I love it. A lot more of these, please. He kissed me back. It was almost as if he were biting me. I'm not moaning for them, but... Heat from Ascot rushed into my mouth. His kiss was so overwhelming that I felt like I was drowning. Just when I felt like I had almost lost my breath entirely. Let's stop worrying about the details and walk the path to our goals. I'm counting on you from here on out, my dear Spacey. Ascot stepped away, laughing as if he were having the time of his life. Oh! Oh! That is the best way to end this part! Jesus! I was not expecting that so soon off the bat. Oh my god. I was hoping we got a CG, but I was not expecting a kiss. So, anyway. Good thing it's cold as fuck up here. Because, otherwise I might be dripping sweat. I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.